Meanwhile, Wisconsin bars and restaurants are now fully open after the state Supreme Court threw out the Safer at Home order, though restrictions are still in place in Minnesota. Beginning June 1st, limited outdoor dining will be allowed under Minnesota's plan. Here's more from the state's news conference.
Starting June 1st, restaurants and bars can be open for outdoor dining only. We have clear evidence from the health experts that outdoor settings are a lot safer than indoor settings, and so we're making that move to have outdoor dining begin to become an option. Of course, 6 feet between tables, all the social distancing rules that have been in place from the beginning still apply. No more than 50 total people at an outdoor setting for a restaurant to keep that cap at a manageable level. And then in terms of the party size, we're asking that people keep it to 4 total or 6 if you're a family. So trying to limit the party size of folks at our restaurants, again, to try to limit the unpredictability of that environment. Reservations will be required, so you can't just walk in. And we're asking that all workers in these settings wear masks, and we're strongly encouraging customers to wear masks too. And really, this is about the safety of workers, right? As workers come back in that environment, if customers are wearing masks, especially when they're interacting, when they're giving their order to a waiter, what have you, that does help prevent the spread to workers who are taking that risk to come in and serve you. So we're requiring workers to wear masks, strongly encouraging patrons to wear masks. We get it, you can't wear a mask and eat and drink, so there's some practical things here where you have to take the mask off, but having that mask when you come in, using it when you're having conversation, removing it to eat and drink is the critical guidance. Now, obviously not every restaurant has an outdoor deck or a patio or a ready-made place to sit and have this kind of interaction, and so we are eager to see municipalities get a little creative here and get a little innovative with restaurants to find ways to make makeshift outdoor space work. We know that different cities have different zoning restrictions on this, and we ask that they get creative and find ways to make that possible for restaurants who might not have access to that space. My colleagues at MnDOT are looking into ways to find right-of-ways and sidewalks and parking spaces that might be available for outdoor dining, and they'll be releasing some guidance and thoughts on that coming soon. But I think just as we've seen restaurants innovate on curbside delivery and pickup, we're going to see this new round of innovation for outdoor seating. And some restaurants have it, and it's part of their business model. Others will have to create it, but an important step forward to begin to get that dine-in happening in a safe and thoughtful manner. The second area that will be changing as of June 1st is personal care services. This is the barbers, the hair salons, the nail salons, the tattoo parlors. These happen generally indoors. There's not a lot of outdoor barbers out there. So we do recognize it has to happen inside. But we're limiting capacity to 25%. And when I say limit capacity, it's 25% of the fire code. So every business out there has a sort of max capacity fire code. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about these percentages of the fire code. It's that percentage that you have in your OSHA requirements. Masks are required for both the patron and the worker in this use case. Obviously, you're getting a haircut or a tattoo. There's someone, you're pretty close. You're within 6 feet. So wearing a mask is required for both workers and clients in those settings. Appointment only, no walk-ins. So 25% capacity then for personal care services. And then campgrounds and charter boats, we're also making a shift on June 1st. We're allowing those operations to take place. Campgrounds, of course, we'll need to take care to make sure that the campsite configuration is socially distant. There's common areas in campgrounds, so we got to get that right too. We have some clear guidelines on social distancing there and sanitation plans for these common areas. You can find all that on the DNR website. Charter boats too. So charter boats are allowed to resume activity with appropriate social distancing on those boats, so 6 feet or more between both the crew and the captain, unless you're all a family, and then it's okay to be close as per the usual guidelines. So lots more on the DNR's website there to take a look at. So those are the 3 big changes coming on June 1st. And I just want to remind people sort of what remains the same, because I think that's important to know too. So the guidance that remains the same is that gatherings of 10 or less is the limit for gatherings out and about. If you're a business that can telework, you have to telework. This is a must, not a should. Telework is critical if you can get that done, and so that remains the guidance as well. Non-critical businesses, same thing. For retail, we're still at that 50% capacity, as we mentioned before. Churches remain at the same guidance as we had before, which is indoors 10 people or less, or outdoors 10 folks or less. Or drive-in services, which we've seen churches really innovate on. Bringing folks into the parking lot and sitting in cars is a new way to get this right. And so we encourage churches to look into options like that.